Welcome everyone to the channel. Today's video is dedicated to Alex Orfanos, a wonderful piano player from Greece, Athens, Greece. His playing has such an impact on me that I had no choice but to reach out to him and ask him if he could sit down with us for the interview. And this is how it goes.
All right, welcome everyone. My name is Piotr Kowalczyk. I'm here to introduce a wonderful musician, piano player, composer, arranger, Alex Orfanos. Straight from, where are you from, Alex? How do I pronounce Athens, Greece?
Exactly, I'm from Athens. I live in Athens. I'm from Greece. And I've been to many other countries before, but I was born here.
Beautiful. So basically, what happened, I came across of his Facebook channel account, and I found a bunch of videos of him performing at jazz standards. And what I found through that experience, this wonderful human being with sophistication of the melody build, phrasing, articulation, the piano technique. There's like so many aspects of his playing what basically captured my focus. And I couldn't wait any longer. I reached out to Alex asking if he could sit down with us and talk about his journey. So welcome, Alex. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for your kind words. You know, yeah, I think you said too much.
No.
And
Seriously, if I could keep going. The way he approaches the piano, you know, when you think about it, there's articulation, dynamic, we mentioned sophistication, but also, you know, how he builds the voicings inside the chords and their own resolutions, and how he basically controlled the secondary melodies underneath. It's just breathtaking. So it's like, okay, well, I have to check out this guy, you know, and just get to know him just a little bit more. Through that interview, hopefully you're gonna see Alex playing his music. He's gonna send me a bunch of samples, and we're gonna post them with that interview. But for starters, Alex, why don't you just introduce the beginning of your journey? Where did it started for you?
okay, I have to thank you again for your kind words, of course, because you know, I really appreciate what you told me. I don't know if half is true, I would be very happy, you know, from what you said. All right, the musical journey has started about 45 to 48 years ago, when I was like 8 years old, something like that. And I started with classical music. I was classically trained. And I got a certificate and a diploma in classical training here in Athens Conservatory. And around my 20 years old, I met my uncle that he was playing kind of jazz. He was a famous jazz player here in Greece. He was one of the first ones back in the 80s, I would say. He was the first teacher that he really was playing kind of improvising and some nice voicings. And I said, what is this? You know, it sounds really beautiful. I would like to get to know this world, you know. I was classically trained by then, but I said, oh, I like that. You know, it sounds so nice. And he was like my first teacher. he was the first one. But what really hit me more than this, than my uncle, because he taught me things, but I couldn't really figure out much. He told me about the scales and the modes, you know, and the chords, voicings and stuff like that, the sevenths, ninths and all of that. But I couldn't make really sense. What really hit me, and really I said, that's what I want to do. And that's in my heart, and I want to follow this trip. It was when I saw a concert in Patra, in a major city of Greece. It's like it's the third largest city in Greece. Athens, Thessaloniki, and Patra is the third. They had a festival in the 80s, and they were inviting some jazz. They had like a kind of a jazz invitation along with the other stuff, you know, the Greek and some pop and stuff like that, that I really didn't like. But suddenly on the TV, because they were showing that on the TV back in the 80s, there was Chick Corea and Gary Barton. This amazing duo. And when I heard that on the TV, I said, what is this? I couldn't believe. I was looking at Chick playing some phrasing out of nothing. I mean, and I said, what is he doing? Where is the music? Why it's not written? He didn't have any paper in front of him, and he was playing like something like a sonata. And I said, what's going on here? Where does this come from? I couldn't believe it. And I said, and I was crying, you know. I looked at the whole show on the TV, and I was crying, and I said, no, this cannot be possible. Two people can play like 20. You know, in my ears, it sounded like it was like 5 people. And it was like, you know, besides the main things, I felt it's improvisation, but I didn't know how this come from. How can they improvise out of nothing? You know, so that was really the big hit for me. And I said, I want to do that. And after that, along with my uncle's advices and his lessons, I started practicing, you know, in this world. I left the classical, you know, anyway, the classical doesn't lead anywhere if you're not a soloist, you know, a big soloist. It's just, and I said, okay, after a couple of years, I remember, I was playing kind of playing decently, okay, not very well. And I was looking for a college to attend to become better in that, because I wanted to follow jazz education and jazz courses. And I applied at Berklee, College of Music, Boston. And I remember it was very expensive for me by that time. So I had to find a way, how can I apply to them? And, you know, so, but I can't pay all of this money they were asking then. But of course, I have to say, back then it was much, much more cheaper than when I check now, the last 10 years, let's say. Now it's very expensive. Back then it wasn't that expensive, but still it was expensive for me because I was from a small country, you know.
Yeah.
And my parents really couldn't help me that much. Okay, they could, but up to a point. And I applied at Berklee, and they had a scholarship program, I remember. And I asked, what is the requirements for that? They sent me kind of, you know, some information about it.
The guidance.
And I did apply, and I did send whatever they asked. You know, I just sat down and I did some things with the help of my uncle, you know. But actually it was my playing, of course, you know, I couldn't cheat. Even though it was on a tape then, back then we were sending tapes and by email. So I did send, you know, 4 songs they were asking me. And after like a couple of months, I got a mail, and they said that you have a half money was scholarship for your tuition, and we would be glad if you can accept that and if you could come, you know. And I show my dad, and he said, oh, because she was thinking he's gonna pay, let's say, $10,000 per semester, suddenly it's half.
Yeah.
He said, oh, I could do that. I said, look, Dad, let me go for a year and let's see how things go there, and we'll see if I can, and if you can continue, you know, supporting me. And I applied, but I didn't go right away. I had to wait for 2 more years because I have to go to join the army.
Oh,
So,
I see. It's like a mandatory thing, right, in Greece?
mandatory, yes. You can delay it, but in contact with the school, with Berklee, I remember they told me it's better to go to do your military service, and after you can
First.
apply again. Your scholarship will be waiting for you. You are not going to lose it, so you can apply later on. And I followed their advice. I went to the military. It was 20 months back then. Now it's much less because you have professional army now. So it's like 6 months. But back then it was in the 80s, late 80s, it was 20 months. And I went to the army. And for 20 months, you know, I didn't have the chance to really play, but I was practicing. I remember I was practicing. You know, I had a small keyboard when I was coming to Athens because I was far in an island. I was coming and I was playing, so I didn't leave it really, because always in my mind was in my head that I will go to Berklee, you know. So I was trying to keep it up.
It's like Miles Davis, what says, I don't have to touch the instrument in order to play. You know, I feel like most of it happens in my own head. So.
Yes, and I listen a lot of music. I can tell you, Piotr, is that your name?
Yeah,
Piotr?
it's Piotr, yeah.
Okay.
No worries.
Piotr.
Yeah.
Okay, so Piotr, I was listening a lot of music because I felt that by listening, I was getting better without touching the instrument. Just by stopping, listening how people react to each other, you know, the feeling, the form, you know. I was trying to figure out this on my head, so I was listening all the time, and I was getting better just by listening, not by touching the instrument. I had the chance to touch the instrument very rarely, all these 20 months. So, after the army, you want to hear the rest? Or is there any questions you would like to ask me?
No, it's interesting because when I grew up in way back in Poland, we had those summer jazz workshops, you know, taking place in my hometown, and it was like an international jazz workshop when all the people, you know, all over the Europe come and for 2 weeks basically study and perform jazz around the town. So I remember teachers from Berklee, you know, visiting and sponsoring that aspect of that workshop, and in the end
they do that here. They do that here in Athens at Nakas Conservatory, but they do that later than the time I applied.
I see.
And now they give also scholarships. They have a scholarship program, so they do that. I think it started in '95, but I applied late '80s,
but
'88.
You know, the fact that they're doing it is fabulous, and I believe they still are doing it. So this is a great opportunity for, you know, you guys who kind of think maybe I should go to college and kind of expand upon that, you know, upon that idea and learn some, you know, like gain a solid music education. You know, there's another, it could be another option for,
What I've noticed is that nowadays there are many talented guys, even here. Oh, many talented guys. The last 20 years, I've seen really big progress in modern kind of music in Greece.
let's talk about your time in Boston when you surround yourself with great education and great teachers. So just tell us how long, what was the year when you attended all the classes? Yes, let's start with that.
I went to Berklee at 91,
91. Okay.
1991 till 1994. I think it was 3.5 years. I'm not sure now exactly. I remember going there in 1991, and okay, in general, I have to say it was a tremendous experience, an amazing experience. Maybe it was my best period of my life. In general, I met many guys. Actually, I remember a guy from Poland. Now I have to mention that I remembered. He was a pianist. He was so good. I wasn't that good, and I was listening to him, and I said, "Wow, you sound so good. Hey." And we became friends, and on the way, I got a little bit better, and we could play sometime together. Anyway, so I remember when I went there, I was like, wow, how many beautiful musicians there are here. Okay, some were more rock oriented, some more pop oriented, some gospel singers, but the jazz field, it was really strong. Imagine when I went there, I didn't know. Somebody said, "Oh, you see this pretty girl over there?" I said, "Yes." "You know who she is? Clint Eastwood brought her here." I said, "What? Clint Eastwood, the actor?" Then he was an actor, not a director yet. "Yes, it's Diana Krall." "What?" I didn't know who she is then, But afterwards, I remembered that I saw Diana Krall somewhere there, She was one of the students. Okay, she came for some, she didn't really study there, but I've seen her, and she became now so famous. So I've started really small at Berklee, really. My ratings, if you know about the ratings, you have this at Berklee. I don't know if you know the system when you give some tests and they see your ability, how you read, how you improvise, how you accompany, and they have ratings, 4 digits. Do you know about this?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay. I remember my digits were like, when I went there, I thought I'm gonna get like good digits. They have up to the 9. It was 0 to 9, and they give you digits, these 4 digits according to your skills, 4 areas, like I said before. And I remember the first digit I got, it was 1010. So this means I sucked. 0. And I thought, what's going on? They don't know. Why they judge me like this? I thought I could play, but I was playing like scale wise. My playing wasn't mature at all. I didn't have good swing. I had, but it wasn't really what it should be. I couldn't swing well. My phrasing was too many notes, blah, 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 without the sense, without telling a story, without beginning, middle, and ending. It was just lines after line, not a story. It was like 20 stories. In one story, I was saying 20 different stories. So it didn't make any sense. And I thought, oh, they should give me at least 3s. Anyway, when I did, okay, I started practicing because I felt that, okay, I need to practice. And when I was listening to the other guys, I was feeling that I wasn't good. I wasn't like in this level. So while I was there, I was really practicing so much. I started practicing 6 hours a day. I remember I was looking at the Japanese guys being in the practice rooms for 10 hours. And I said, what's going on? These guys are there for 10 hours. I came and spending my money at Berklee. I have to do that if I wanna, and I love this music. I wanna make it. I wanna try to make it. So, and I was practicing for 6 hours daily.
You mentioned hours of practice, right? Okay, that's beautiful. That's it just supports your character, and your personality. But when you are surrounded with great musicians and great teachers, you probably get lots of guidance how to practice and what to practice.
Yes,
Did it help? Okay.
a lot, a lot.
So you didn't
Actually,
waste time by.
no, I didn't waste time. That was good. That was the good. Actually, my second teacher that helped me really a lot, and I stayed with him for 3 years. I remember the first one was, okay, it's not, now I'm not going to mention the first teacher, but the second teacher I had was Laszlo Gardoni. Laszlo is a Hungarian pianist that lives in Boston the last 40 years. He has making many albums. He has played with Bob Moses, with big players. I mean, Laszlo Gardoni is amazing pianist. His guidance was so helpful. He taught me things like that I didn't realize that they are there. It's not what you're gonna play, it's the how, the sound. He told me about the sound, things that I wasn't aware. That sound is more important than what you're gonna play. The sound, if you don't have a sound, you can't play, because whatever you play doesn't sound good, even if it's nice patterns and licks and stuff like that. He was also against kind of lick playing. So, but I felt I was needing to learn the language, so I had to learn licks. In the beginning, I remember myself, you know, I was learning things like that. You know, things like 2-5-1s, how to resolve and all that. I had to do that because I was feeling I need to. But little by little, I started with his guidance not to think about licks so much, but about to think about the whole phrasing and how to make it sound nice, whatever you play, and how to make this the motif playing, kind of. He really helped me in that, and he showed me some exercises about motif playing. I remember also we had these labs, and there were some great teachers over there. I can't mention now because I don't remember the names. They were really professional musicians that having these labs there and teaching. And I remember they were showing some techniques about things like how to develop a line, how to develop an overall solo, making a story out of this. So all of this, it was things I never knew before. I thought jazz is about just playing phrasing and scales. Oh, that was the worst. I remember myself, I was playing scales. I was thinking, okay, C minor 7, Dorian. You know, nothing else. It has to be only Dorian.
So the perspective was quite limited, right? And then we broke through that limitation, and you start seeing possibilities.
For years, it was like this. You know, I was thinking, okay, C major 7, it's Ionian or Lydian. Okay, that was my world when I have a C major 7. Suddenly, you know, year by year, okay, this didn't happen really fast. It takes years until you can make yours the language. It takes decades, actually. Because if I became better, it was after Berklee, because in Berklee I had so much information that when you are there, you can absorb it really fast. Because it's so much information. You have information from everywhere. And imagine, besides the courses, besides the private instruction, you have people coming there having seminars. You know, I saw great musicians like Gary Peacock, John Patitucci, Richie Bayrak, Pat Metheny. I mean, these giants were coming there having some seminars at school. People, they didn't even talk about music. They were talking about life. And by that time I was, but what kind of seminar is this? They don't talk about leaks and about music. And what they were saying about music is you just find your own voice. That's the most important thing. And just try to be yourself. Anyway, by that time, these things didn't really make sense in me. But when the time was passing by and I was playing and actually practicing, little by little, year by year, this thing really made sense. And unfortunately for me, I go back now to the digits. Last year, I did this thing with the numbers. I got 6s and 7s. That was like the last 2 semesters. that was really my playing within 3 years period really grew. I felt also that. Probably they did too. But it was too late for me because I should have been in this situation. So I go, okay, I was a very good friend, I tell you now. Do you know Antonio Sanchez? The
Antonio
drummer?
Sanchez, yeah. Uh-huh.
He's playing, he made music for the movie. What was, anyway, he's like one of the best five drummers in the world right now. We were really good friends. We were so good friends. We were playing together by that time.
Nice.
He was, for me, kind of instructor too, Antonio, with his drumming. Anyway,
so
he was
basically,
really good, but
he applied his playing into the drum like acoustic instrument, actually, like sophistication of the tone, the melodic playing, right? He didn't treat it like a jazz rhythm oriented.
I can say that. What I can say that I remember him because by that time he was a student. He wasn't what he became later on.
Okay.
I remember that he told me, "Look, I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna make it. I'm even gonna play with Pat Metheny and Lyle Mays," and he did. And he did make this. And I remember he was practicing all the day. All day long. He had a pad, and he was all the time all practicing, and I remember him all the time. Even when we go out, the weekdays, he was having this thing, all of these things. And I said, what are you doing? Man, let's have fun, let's enjoy. Anyway, for me, unfortunately, I got to do the good digits at the end of my school semester, at the end. Because I had some chances like to play with some good people, but that was near the end of my studies. So, and also I had an incident. Okay, I need to tell you, Piotr, that I wanted to stay there. I wanted to stay. And,
you built all those connections, right?
I built some connections and very good ones, yes. But I lost my brother back home, and my parents said, come back. We need to see you. We lost your brother, and, come back. I came back, and I thought I will come back to the United States again. But what happened is that when I came here, some singers and some schools wanted me because there weren't many people coming from Berklee in Greece. So when I came back in 95, I think, I immediately found some good work here with famous singers, and I started a company, and I got good money. And suddenly, I forgot about United States.
Yeah.
Or I said, okay, I'll go next year. Suddenly, like 6-7 years passed, and I was making money, but I wasn't that happy because I was playing Greek music, I was playing pop, I was playing in hotels, but that wasn't enough for me. I wanted to play jazz, and I didn't have this chance. I was playing more different styles. That was a nice experience, actually, and that has helped me a lot. It has helped me a lot that I have played pop, commercial, cinematic music. That has really helped me a lot to have a better feeling about everything. And rock, I have played in rock bands too. But my heart is in jazz. And the thing is that I missed that when I was here. I was making money, but I was missing jazz. In 2000, I decided to go for a trip. I met a Greek guy, and he invited me to Chicago. I went to Chicago in 2000, and I said, okay, but I couldn't go to Boston because all my connections, my contacts were going to another state, or they left back home. Some got married, so you can't bother people that are married and have a family. So I lost most of the contacts, almost everybody. And I went to Chicago. I remember I stayed there for 2 months, and I went to clubs there. Do you want to hear the story?
Yeah, please go ahead.
In Chicago now. 2000. I remember I went to a club. It was only black people. And my friend said, look, just be normal. It's going to be a club. It's only black people, jazzy club, you know. I said, okay, that's what I want to do. Go. I don't care if it's black. So what?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all
there's
about the
not gonna
music, right? Yeah.
it's about that. We went inside. The place was like swinging so much. It was unbelievable. The energy. Suddenly, I felt like I'm 50% better just for the swing. You know, I had many years to feel that since I was in Boston, because in Greece, you can't feel that. You know, this is American kind of thing. You know, one, two,
Yeah.
you know, they had this kind of thing. And there were singers too, I remember, and it was a jam night. So there was a host band, and suddenly people, after they played like for an hour, it was amazing. I was feeling, oh, it's great. So much swing there. And I remember there was a singer, and my friend said, come on, go. I said, what to go? Don't you see here what's going on? These people are so good. And, come on, go. So what? You know, you're good too. Go. I was shy, and I went up. And it felt so nice and natural. And when we started, I remember the girl, there was a black girl. She was so good. And she said, do you know which song? Miss the Saturday dance, that up do they, papa de ba ba. What's this song?
Don't get around.
Don't get
touching
around touching you. I know it in C, okay, you know, in C. But she said D flat. I said D flat. Okay, D flat.
D flat. Well, what a challenge.
I flat. Yeah, but it's not that far from C, so it's okay. You can manage it. It's hard for them,
Yeah.
but you can manage it, okay. And I did play it, and I felt really good actually, because you know, after a kind of minute or two, the band was amazing. They were singing, they were leaving space, so it was very nice and natural, everything. So there wasn't on your way, because they knew how to play so well. Americans, you know, the drummer, the bassist, the guitarist. So it was really nice, and I made the solo, and it was nice. I didn't feel really, it was really good. And suddenly they were looking at me and saying, where are you from? I said, I'm from Greece. Where is that? Is it Italy? No, it's another country near Italy, you know. It's in the Mediterranean, you know.
Yeah.
It's called Greece. You know, you probably do some things it's at school, but you're not aware that it's from Greece. You know, Olympic Games, I will start saying some things so they know.
Yeah.
Ah, it's from Greece. Okay, yes, where the Olympics started, you know. Ah, Socrates and Plato and philosophers. And yeah, I said, yes, that's the country. Wow, and you have jazz there? I said, no, I studied here in the United States at Berklee. Oh, man, you sound good. And the singer, I remember, she offered me a job. She said, I like your playing. You have something different than the guys I used to play. You have something really different that touched my heart. I said, oh, thank you very much. You know, she offered me a job. She said, look, I have enough gigs. If you want to stay to Chicago, you know, but you will need to live here, to get a car, and start making a life. I can promise you all your expenses can be covered by these gigs, but I don't know if you can have enough money out of this. I said, look, I came here for 2 months. And, you know, in 2 weeks' time, I was about to leave because I had the ticket. I don't know that this will happen, even though I really wanted that to happen. I had a job at home in a nice hotel in Crete Island that was paying well, and I didn't want to leave it. And I denied the offer. Of course, now, okay, 25 years later, I blame myself. I didn't take that chance. That was the second chance I had. The first was at Berklee, at Boston, playing with great players over there. I even went to New York. Okay, I met George Benson there. I have to tell you another story. That's later on. And in Chicago, I lost the second chance. And I regret it. But because music, Piotr, is everywhere around us, you can make music wherever you are. I felt that, okay, you missed the chance to play with some great musicians and people that really know this thing and they have the feeling. But on the other hand, music is inside you. I mean, if you have an instrument, if you have a piano, you can make music and you can create music and you can charge your batteries, kind of. The problem is that it's good to share this. not to do it in four walls. That's maybe my problem. I'm doing this, in my room. I don't do that much outside. I do have some gigs here, but it's not like, having gigs in New York or, it's totally different. It's okay, it's decent, and the audience here is very small, So I lost some chances, but I'm happy still because I love the music. I do the music I love, and okay, my country has different benefits than being always a student in a country that is not your own, and you have to pay rent all the time, and you have to struggle. Here, at least, I live in my house, in my own place. So I don't want to be ignorant and to be, I'm happy also here.
Beautiful.
But I wanted to have more chances in my life in the United States. I lost these chances. I had, okay, it's okay, now it's over. I'm an old guy now. So, all right.
But when we concentrate on positives, from the story you told me, when you came to Boston, you got graded very low, 0.1, right? I'm thinking if in that time they grade you high, you wouldn't have the same drive to get better, right? So it's kind of, it shapes you in a way that it's like, okay, I have two choices: just disappear, like screw this, or basically I want to be one of the best, right? And just pursue it, that improvements,
Exactly.
So
they know, even if I work for more.
Yeah.
I didn't work for more, either. But even if I did, it's good they gave me these grades because it gave me a motivation to practice, become better. So it's good actually I had these grades. It helped me more.
So instead of, developing your personal ego, right? It's like, I'm the piano player, I'm the best. It's just, how can I get it better? How can I listen my teachers? How can I observe the stuff they tell me about? How can I use this information to shape me as an individual? What I'm attracted to. So kind of it starts the whole personal research. Right? And I think this is fabulous. Another fabulous thing is you mentioned is the connections, right? When you're in Berklee, in that environment, you meet a lot of people, and then something good may happen from that. And then when you leave and come back, you realize that people moved on, and basically they spread towards different projects, different, they move on basically with their life. So this disappears. Another thing that sometimes when the offer comes to you and it's in alignment with who you are, just take it. Don't say no to it. It's like the universe comes, gives you the gift. And instead of say thank you so much, right, and embrace it, we may lose that chance, and the regrets shows up. Through my journey, my experience, and dealing with people online through my YouTube channel, there's, I face certain comments, like I try to address the concept of learning basics about the chord build, building a triads, 7 chords, tensions, how to use them in music. And what I come across from younger generation is like, I don't need to know this stuff. The computer software is gonna take care of me. It's gonna do organize my chords and reharmonize my playing, into, I don't have to learn about drop 2, drop 3, in harmonic setup. Chords progression is gonna just manifest for me by the computer generated AI. So I face constantly this kind of attitude. So now, I believe that attitude is extremely limited, because you find like you discover by accident like one combination of things, but then you don't do a research what else is possible. You don't explore other ways of approaching that subject. So I'm just curious, what is your perspective on musical education, and how much of it actually is needed in order to move on, and develop your personal growth?
Okay. Concerning about the internet and the machine will do it for you, that's the bad side of the internet. People think that if you don't practice, you can play. No. It all comes back to the practicing thing. If you don't practice, you will never play well. But above all, even above practicing, is kind of hidden talent. I've realized that if you don't have this ability, this kind of talent, you can reach a limit with practicing, like 70%, 80%, but there is a talent that has to add the 30% to be added. So, some people have this talent, they were born with this, so they just need to practice less than others. But all practice. There is no one that we admire that hasn't been practicing throughout his early years, at least. So it's like, you know, like the pilot has to have hours of flights. You have to 2,000 hours to go to, let's say, to the helicopters. After 2 more thousands to go to the next level planes. And to fly a jumbo jet, you need 10,000 of hours. It's the same thing for musicians. You practice your 2,000 hours or 5 or 6, and the more you get, the better you get. Of course, you add the talent above that, because some people have the talent. So now, about the school, if we do we need any Berklee to become really good, or any school in New York or wherever in LA, or those great schools that there are, especially across the United States, but even in Europe there are, you know, even in Poland, I'm sure you have amazing conservatories, even for jazz education. Okay, what I believe, for me, it helped me a lot. I was needing the guidance. But I realized after I came here, I had so much information in my head, and little by little I had to clear my head. I couldn't get it. It was so much. So I started quitting and leaving information. Every year, less and less information. And now I'm in a point that I just come on the piano, I sit, and I don't think anything. I just think the only thing I try to think is the sound. Number one, I have to make a sound out of this. How I touch the keyboard, you know, if it's balanced sound also. If it's balanced when I play along, okay, I try to make a good sound for the instrument I'm playing now. But if I play with others, am I balanced with them? How is the balance with them? So I'm thinking of things that is not like 100% musical. Oh, okay, how can I play this? Okay, what I play? Oh, what scale is this now? Or what am I doing? Oh, now I have to do the pentatonics. Okay, now diminished scale. No, I used to do that a lot 20 years ago. Because I had so much information. I was bombarded with information at Berklee and, you know, and books and all of that. I realized when you want to really do well, the less you think, the better it is. This is easy to say. It's very tough to do it. So now where the talent comes. If you have talent, you know, you can have all of this, you know, the nice touch, the nice phrasing, because of your talent helps you. But you need still to practice before your flight hours. Now, Berklee, or any type of school like Berklee, for me to work, because it showed me this thing, even though I was getting class, but by talking to some great teachers, I realized, telling me that time I didn't realize it. But when my teacher was saying, look, the sound, you have to fix your sound. Don't hit the notes. Touch, make a better touch when you play your notes. Don't hit them. I was hitting the notes. What is this? I was saying, but it's the same note we play. No. Just listen. And I did that. So I realized that some people need schools and colleges, but some others don't. If I had to choose now, I think now it's more easier for the new generation going to the net and finding good teachers there, you know, that teach music and some jazz skills and stuff. They can get a lot out of this, but still they need to find the way to make their own voice and the sound. I emphasize a lot of the sound because I have realized through the years that the most important thing is how you make sound out of your instrument, and how it's not what you play. If you play a nice chord and polychords, and you know, it's the how you play this thing. Even a C major, a C triad can sound beautiful. Okay, Keith Jarrett, let's say. I mean, the guy can play triads and he can touch your heart with his sound just by playing triads. Many times, you know, he plays easy kind of stuff. There's no easy, but kind of. I mean, and it touches your heart. Why? Is the sound he makes out of the instrument. How, you know, the distance, how he touches the keys. So I think the most important is this. Now this needs talent. Maybe someone can tell you, but some people can't realize it. I had some students that I was telling them about this. They weren't ready to realize it, like I wasn't. Yeah. And what I was telling them, you know what? Just listen. Listen to Bill Evans. How he makes this sound. It's not what he plays. Okay, what he plays is also amazing and beautiful. But is what sound he gets out of this. Singers, okay, Frank Sinatra. You know, did he go to any school? I don't think so. Bobby Darin, did he attend any school? I mean, Ella Fitzgerald, did you go to any school? This is talent. They found their own voice within them. It's the same with the instruments. I speak about singers because I know you're a good singer. Thank you. I'm speaking about those. So Ella Fitzgerald, okay, Sarah Vaughan has done, you know, and now I said Sarah Vaughan, she's my favorite, huh? Carmen McRae, Sarah Vaughan. You know, so you don't really need to go to a college if you have the talent and you know how to create and to make a sound. All the rest, the phrasing and this can come when you practice. Yeah. Some people are, you know, they get help in schools, yes, or in internet or all that. The trap with the internet is that there is so much information, and the difference between my era in the 90s is that I also got information, but it was more focused. I remember myself, I was taking an album of Michel Petrucciani, and I was listening to it every day because I didn't have a chance to have another album. You know, next album, I would maybe go and buy Herbie Hancock in a week. So I had to listen to this album, and it was so inside my ears, the sound, the phrasing of Michel, or, you know, and that it's much better than listening to 100 albums in a day and don't get nothing out of this. It's better to focus and to find what you really need for you, what is your needs, because you cannot be great in everything. You cannot have amazing rhythm, amazing phrasing, amazing lines, you know, accompany. No, you are good in what? Okay, you are not good in what else? So focus on that. Let's say I remember I wasn't good rhythmically. And I was telling that to my teacher because I knew I had the problems with rhythm. So I got exercises, I was trying to listening the form, because I was losing forms many times. You know, I was listening, let's say, okay, Keith Jarrett Trio, Jack DeJohnette, Gary Peacock. Okay, who doesn't lose the form over there? When Jack especially makes... But I got to a point that now I'm not losing anything because I know how to follow them. I know I have the time and I'm not losing it. So I know the form of the song. So this is a really difficult thing. And I think this is more important. And it comes by listening, not by practicing. This is a kind of practicing, but it's outside of the instrument. That's also important practicing. Yeah. So it's not enough only to practice your instrument. It's enough to know how to listen to what's going on, to the greats, not to yourself, okay, to the greats. So to answer your question, yes, Berklee really does help people. It helped me a lot, but I don't think it's for everybody. There are people that didn't go to Berklee and they play much, much better than people that went to Berklee. I've met people that went to Berklee even here in Greece. And I say, what?
Yeah.
You understand me? So,
Oh yeah.
not for everybody.
We've got many examples like
Better,
this, but
better actually. Everybody knows better.
you know, when I think about this college extravaganza, it's like it gives you a time to put yourself together, to find your inner voice and the sound, right? And we can do it so many different ways, and there's a inspiration of other people around you, teachers, guidance, the books. But guess what? You don't have to spend $80,000 per year to go to college. You can just go to the bookstore next to the college, what basically the school runs it, and you can just leave it with several different books, you know, what help you to kind of expand your horizon towards wherever you want to develop. You can surround yourself with private coaching and teachers, you know, once a week, once a month, who cares, right? And just work on yourself. But since we've been talking so much about the sound, I think it's time, Alex, to basically play one of your videos now to present the sound which you create. How about that? Okay, so the listeners will have a kind of idea, you know, about your touch, about your sound, and the quality of your performance. Okay, so let's take a look at one of the performances by Alex Orfanos. We had this idea behind the scene that we come together and Alex is gonna play the piano, I'm gonna sing, and we're gonna combine our forces into one beautiful experience. However, today's connection through the internet didn't allow us to do that. So maybe we can do something similar in the future. But we would love to conclude our conversation for now, and basically we're gonna look for other opportunities. See what happens. So Alex, so basically education, the bottom line comes to this: from what I stand for, I realize that the education is not everything. However, the education helps you to be more, open your eyes that there is more depth to the sound and the creation, right, and co-creation than just the books and certain information. You have to put it into motion. And now there is a law of attraction. You as a musician get attracted to certain things, right? Your playing is based on certain qualities. And there is qualities what basically weaken your performance or straighten your performance. And now it comes down to that: drop the ego down and concentrate. It's how I want to sound and which parts of me I have to spend more time developing. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What I also that it's good to have a good teacher when you start, that really guide you through the right things.
Yeah.
Because let's say I lost enough time. I remember when I was playing classical, I was just playing the pieces. I was just playing the notes of the piece, of Chopin or Bach, I remember. But I didn't really play music. I didn't realize that by that time because I was very young and I was a student. I didn't know how to do that. But I remember my teacher didn't really tell me, okay, you have to play, you have to play Bach without the pedal, or to play the note to sound really deep. I was sounding very on the edge, you know. I wasn't deep, my notes weren't deep enough, you know. My touch was bad. Nobody told me that for many, many years, so I lost enough time. So what I feel it will help is that when people want to learn jazz, and that you can learn from books, you know, the kind of sound we're talking now and the feel, book cannot teach you. You can understand it and realize it when you hear it, and you know how to hear it. That's the talent now, because the touch and the sound and the how you play something is something that no book can teach you. How can the book can tell you how to have a touch? They can't. This is a really personal thing. You have to realize it within you. So if you have a teacher that dictates that and tells you, look, you have to pay attention to that, and not just you know, just playing this, you know, it's different than this is different because it's more deep. It has the whole duration of the note, you know. So these things, if somebody tells you about this, then you don't spend time and you go right to the point. Of course, at the same time, you need to practice. Practice like your scales, your voicings, your licks. You have to practice this. Like we said before, you have to, the flight hours. You can't avoid that. Nobody can, even the talented ones. The talented ones just get to their target faster. But for all the rest of us, we might need more time. And if we realize what we really need to do by having a good guidance and a good teacher behind us, that will really help us. So for me, Berklee was a good teacher. That's why I'm saying for me to work Berklee, because I didn't know these things. Somebody over there, not one, actually many good teachers, told me what to do. I didn't realize it at once. This is difficult. The sound is something really difficult. You need to have some kind of talent to understand what means sound. But I play da-ra-di-da-da. No, it's not that. This is the note. It's not the sound. You have to make a sound out of this note.
Yeah.
It's the notes you play. It's not the music. It's not music. It's notes. So that's really different. So I think it's good to have a good teacher when you start. I mean, when you are totally amateur, okay, you can go to anybody to teach you the very basics, you know. But after a while, when you are in a level that you are in a medium level, it's good to have someone to guide you through these things that are really makes music what it's all about. And anyway, music is about feeling, isn't it? When you hear something, we feel something. If we don't feel that, then it means it's not that good. And you know what? I always was saying to my students, when I used to have, not now anymore, they were saying, okay, how is this? Is he good? You know, they were telling me, oh, come, this guy is playing there and he's good. I said, okay, look, how you judge, the easy way. When you listen someone, if he makes emotions and pictures to you, it's good. That's simple. If you feel, okay, I don't feel anything, I don't go to a nice journey with this guy when he plays, or the group that is playing. If you feel that you go on a journey with the people you are hearing, or you feel that they travel you somewhere, or you have feelings, then it works. They're good. They're fine. So simple. Not what they play. I don't care what they play. I don't like to analyze also. You know, I want to feel the you know, the story, the trip. So that's how I judge now. I don't care what they know. I don't care if they have leaks. You know what? I hear people blah, 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 blah. I don't care.
Yeah.
What I care is, do I feel something? If I feel something, it works. That's simple.
You know, based on this beautiful experience with you, the whole conversation and depth of it, we mentioned a lot of time jazz playing, improvisation, and some of us are not attracted to jazz at all. But when I think about the music education, I think about chord build in music, harmony movement in music, internal voicings in music. So basically, this jazz education, 7 chords and tensions, gives you this foundation to basically approach other sources and flavors of music, such as bossa nova, samba, right? Yeah,
I
that,
love bossa nova. By the way, I love bossa nova.
I
I love it.
I know you do. Just
And I love it even more than, I mean, the same like jazz.
yeah. So all I'm saying, you are not gaining just the jazz. You're gaining like every aspect of the fusion music, right? Including even salsa and
Cuban music.
yeah, Cuban music, yeah, rumba, yeah,
Music is one
cha-cha.
thing. I don't separate jazz from Latin or, for me, everything can be jazz in a nice way. I mean, I understand that people can hear jazz, but I don't think it's people's fault. I think it's the musicians up their fault. Because if they don't swing, if they don't groove, the musician has to make the audience feel it. Because when you're ignorant about this music and you just go to a concert, okay, let's say, I don't know if you ever attended to a Keith Jarrett trio. I mean, have you
Yes.
seen DVDs?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. Yeah,
Nobody speaks. Do you think all of these people in the audience know about jazz, anything?
yeah. Everyone is
I don't.
silent. Yeah,
Think so. But it's the magic they create. These 3 people up there in the scene, Keith, Gary, and Jack. Okay, those 2 RIP. Yeah, the last. So the magic they created, that this energy goes to the audience. So even if you are not aware of this music, the energy is so beautiful and the magic, so you like it. So if a group doesn't play really well, and I start talk and I say, oh, this is jazz, I don't like it. I don't blame the audience. I blame the people that create the music. They make something wrong, not the audience. It's not the people's mistake for me. I think that's how it is. It's not for me. That's how it is. You have to make the audience. So that's why I'm saying you have to play and tell a story, and you have a nice sound, and you make a trip out of your playing, so the people can be attracted to this. They don't know the scale behind it. They don't know how you improvise. They don't need to know anyway. They can be all musicians, and especially jazz. It's a music that is combined with all of the other musics, and they took the best of this, and it's this spontaneous thing. So they don't need to know that. How can this happen? No, they just feel the energy. So if you're good and you can make that happen, then they're gonna feel it no matter if they don't like it. Okay, Oscar Peterson. Everybody can hear Oscar Peterson if they don't like jazz. They don't. It's not bothering to their ears, right? It's a nice melody. His phrasing, it's so light. His light, delicate touch. So it's not about being jazz. It's about the person that creates the music behind, how he can make this happen to the audience listening. So I feel that anybody that, let's say, some people listen to folk music. If they listen to a good jazz player like Oscar Peterson, let's say, like I said before, or let's say Nat King Cole. There are people that don't listen to jazz. If they listen to Nat King Cole, will they say, oh, I don't like it? I don't think so. They say, oh, this is a warm, nice voice. Wow. I don't understand the song, but the voice, it's warm, it's nice. It's a magic.
Yeah.
It's the magic he has. So he spreads this magic to the audience. So I don't blame never the audience.
So vulnerability could be an extremely powerful thing. We, especially men, we kind of run away from that vulnerable place, right? We want to be macho, physical, tough, never give up. But turns out if you only open your eyes and open your heart towards that vulnerable place, you may find your own sound, vibe, right? And be more in tune with who you are as a person and also as a musician. I think it's a great way to kind of finish our video right now, let's just introduce one more tune of yours, Alex. We're gonna play another tune of yours. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Alexandros Orfanos. What a beautiful conversation. Thank you so much for taking your time. And maybe how can we find you? Do you have a Facebook account, right?
Yes, Facebook, YouTube, okay. The thing is that I'm not so good in technology and I'm not really connected with this. I don't even have a website. So,
I think it's time to
yes,
change that, Alex. Yeah,
people are telling me that.
yeah. Seriously, great audio interface, so we can play with each other, and just So
I changed some settings this time, so we can play also.
So whoever is
together.
listening, I will do my best to help Alex with the music equipment and great setup so he can be successful. But for now, you can visit his website, Facebook. We're going to post the link below this video so you can contact him directly. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, Alexandros Orfanos with another beautiful tune. How about some bossa nova we mentioned earlier? Thank you so much, Alex. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you very much.